So everyone is giving their thoughts about what went down in Charlottesville over the weekend. So I'm going to ride the wave of conformity and do the same thing. It's Tuesday and I'm a little bit late to the party, but whatever. At the very least, this is going to be cathartic. So what happened was you have some people that are showing up to a park to protest the removal of the statue of Robert E. Lee. And they went through all the proper channels. They secured all the permits necessary to do this. And despite meeting a lot of resistance and having to involve the ACLU because the city council didn't want to grant them the permits because they didn't like the content of their speech, but that's not free speech, so duh. And so they show up, and then these left-wing extremist groups, Black Lives Matter and Antifa, they show up as well, and this is a pretty combustible situation, so predictably so, it escalates. And they start insulting each other, they start throwing rocks at each other, and eventually some misguided wannabe Hitler youth plows his car into the skirmish and kills somebody and injures others. So, very sad situation, sad state of affairs, but all I hear talked about are the neo-Nazis and the KKK and the white supremacist groups there. Okay, they did have a presence, but the thing about living in America is if you don't like something, you can find other people that don't like it and you can protest that shit. As long as you're not getting violent, it's perfectly fine. And if you want to harbor strange ideas, that's your right too. As long as you're not getting violent and hurting other people. And in this situation, no one is talking about Antifa and these other left-wing groups because they're the ones who instigated this shit. And it would have been a pretty peaceful event, I suspect, had they not showed up. And people are even acting like they're fighting the good fight or something. And they're not, they're terrorists. They've been doing this shit for the past 12 months or however long. They've been terrorizing the shit out of everybody. Okay, Antifa, they are not good people. They are actually the fascists, which is ironic, but not really, because that's how it always is on the left. It's always the opposite of whatever the stated purpose is. Okay, so that's number one. There's plenty of blame to go around. No one likes these white power groups except for the people that are actually members of these groups. But people need to get real about Antifa. And quite frankly, Black Lives Matter as well. Because you know what? Black Lives Matter don't even matter to Black Lives Matter. Because, anyway, that's another thing for another time. So, when I scroll through my newsfeed, I see endless amounts of virtue signaling. Like, I hate Nazis. I hate white supremacists. I'm not a racist. And it's like, okay, duh, good for you. That's nice. But I got to tell you, we've moved on from that. Okay? Because what you're doing, it's not helping. It's actually making it worse. It's keeping this problem alive and it's promoting it. Okay? And I think for most people, it's just them trying to get that dopamine hit of doing the right thing without actually putting the effort forth to improve the situation. Because the way this stuff is being presented, especially, you know, by the mainstream media and just the way everyone talks about it, you would think that everyone's a racist. But actually, no one's a racist. There's a fringe group out there that are prejudiced for whatever reason, and they legit hate people that are part of different groups. But, like I said, that's a very small minority of the people out there. Most people don't give a shit about race. Most people just evaluate others based on how they're treated. And it's pretty simple. But you have all these people out there that are crying bigot and racist and making these wild accusations and playing the ad hominem game because they don't want to have a discussion. And then you have these other people that don't want to be accused of this, so they're out there trying to get ahead of it, and they're saying, I'm not a racist, but this isn't helping, okay? It's doing the opposite. It's divisive, and that's what this whole thing is. It's the classic divide and conquer. Get everyone pissed off at each other. Get everyone segregated so that no one is paying attention to who's really causing the problems. So, and people are also redefining the meaning of Nazis. See, because it's become okay to punch Nazis, and it's not okay to punch anyone. You might fucking hate Nazis. No one likes Nazis, okay? But you still can't punch them in this country if they're not acting violent and doing violent things, okay? And then people are starting to redefine what Nazi means, and now a Nazi is just anyone who disagrees with the left. And this is a very slippery slope, and it's getting very dangerous, and it's destroying all the rational discourse that should be going on. Okay? Because if we can't be rational, then the shitheads win, and then Western society goes up in flames. So that's what I'm trying to say. Hopefully someone got something out of that. I did. It was, like I said, it was cathartic. So until next time, peace, success, and God bless. And fuck the haters too. All these people that are members of these extremist groups, they're haters, they're dead inside, and no one should be giving them any more airtime than necessary, because attention to these people is like oxygen. They're fucking evil. They live to hate. Their heart is consumed with hate. They have no room for love. And that's the problem.